I made a pretty bold claim in the thumbnail, didn't I? Good news is it's not clickbait. In this video, we will cover 10 ways to get free money through set and forget income streams, some of which you will be able to start within the next 30 minutes. This is going to be a bit of a lengthy video, so I'll leave some timestamps below for ease of navigation. There are some unique ones in this list that aren't really highlighted much on YouTube, so stick around and we can start earning you some of that sweet, sweet passive income. I'm going to list these income streams in order of how much effort they take to start up, from least amount of effort to the most amount of effort, starting with right now, watching this video, doing exactly what you're doing with literally no extra effort, you could be earning income if you're using the Brave web browser. From your end, you'll be watching this video with all the YouTube ads and tracking software blocked. Instead, you'll be seeing a little display ad that pops up in the bottom right corner of your screen, and you'll be paid to see each one of these ads that pop up. You also control how many of these ads you see. The money that the advertiser pays to show you that ad gets split, with 70% of that money going to you, the viewer, and 30% going to the person who has created the content you're viewing. So me, if you were watching this video. On top of this, there is a tipping option where the viewer can voluntarily donate to creators with ease and no real limitations. As an added bonus, the whole process is done in such a way that your privacy is preserved in a far superior manner compared to most other browsers you could download, especially Google Chrome. Now you may be thinking it'll be a pain and take ages to switch browsers to Brave, but believe me when I say it took me less than 10 minutes to switch from Chrome, and I have never looked back. If you want to know more about this whole process, I have a video that covers the Brave web browser in more detail up there in the top right, and I'll leave a download description in the link below. As we just covered, Brave verified creators get 30% of the advertiser's money when the viewer is shown an ad. The amazing thing is, a creator can be anyone, and there is no minimum requirements to get paid out like there is with YouTube or blogging sites. Also, you could get some of those bonus tips we mentioned if a viewer decides to tip you, like you could do right now if you were viewing a Brave creator. I'm a shill, I'm not ashamed of it. So just replying to tweets or Reddit posts could earn you passive income, especially if people choose to give you a tip. To set up as a Brave verified creator, again, it took me like 10 minutes, and I've earned a surprising amount through becoming a verified creator despite my relatively small following. I'll leave links in the description below to become a Brave verified creator. So your bank is probably paying you like 0.2% or maybe even a whopping 1% on your savings you have held with them. But what if I told you there was a way to earn 5% or maybe even more on your bank savings? I know you might be a little skeptical, but hear me out. If you looked into the previous two income streams I mentioned, you may have come across an exchange platform called Gemini. Now there's plenty of other platforms that work like Gemini, and they may even be better, but we'll use Gemini as an example for this video. Gemini has access to something called stablecoin staking, which offers up to 8.05% interest on US dollars. Sort of. These stablecoins are actually cryptocurrencies that are pegged 1-to-1 of whichever currency they represent. For example, 1 USDC is worth $1 US, or 1 TAUD is worth $1 Australian dollar. Stablecoin staking also allows you to easily save your money in another country's currency that is less affected by inflation, like the Aussie dollar or the US dollar. Although while Gemini is a good platform, I suggest looking into SwiftX and Binance's staking platforms, but there are many other good ones out there as well. Also, it's worth knowing that stablecoin banking is a bit more risky than normal banking, but the risk can be decreased by doing your research on exchange platforms before you sign up to them. You can further decrease your risk by spreading your money across many stablecoins and multiple exchange platforms. Do note that there have been some notable failures in recent history that may be worth reviewing while you research. Looking at you, Celsius and Voyager. If you choose to use any of the aforementioned platforms, I kindly ask that you use my referral links below, as it earns us both a little bonus gift and really helps my channel. Also, stick around until income stream 7, because this could impact which of the exchange platforms you look into if you're also considering stocks. Do you want to invest in all different types of real estate, from industrial buildings to farms, while earning rental income from them, but don't want to put down thousands or millions of dollars? Well, REITs might be what you're looking for. REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. And from your perspective, investing in them will look like share trading. But instead of owning a share of a company, you will own a share of a property portfolio. These shares of the property portfolio will be exchanged on a stock exchange, just like regular stocks. Also, instead of the company choosing how much to pay you as a dividend, a REIT in most cases has to pay you 90% of the profit it generates on a regular basis. usually monthly or quarterly. Different REITs specialize in different property types, but I personally look for property types that are involved in the foundation of society, such as farmland REITs and industrial REITs, as it's unlikely these will see much of a dip in business even when the economies of the world are in bad shape. It's worth noting that a lot of REITs have debt that equates to about 1/3 of their total assets, which could become an issue as interest rates rise and increase the cost of debt. However, most of the REITs I look into seem to be in a position to handle the rising interest rates, at least for now. Another huge consideration for investing in REITs and stocks is international taxation rules. Boring, I know, but listen. If you buy into a farmland REIT in Australia and you're not from the US, there's a good chance you will be paying 47% tax on your earnings due to a lack of a tax treaty. So look into that before you go investing in REITs, regardless of where you live and where the REITs are registered. Also, if you want to know the best way to invest in REITs and stocks, stick around until passive income stream 7 because that's going to heavily impact it. Let me know if you would be keen on a video about REITs specifically, as property has been growing at tech stock rates for at least 2 decades. So it's really something that should be looked at in more depth. Dividend investing is similar to REIT investing, but it takes a lot more effort to choose which companies to invest in. What is a dividend? It's a fancy word for your share of the profit from a company. It's paid as a specific amount per share owned and is usually discussed in the form of a percentage of the share price. For example, a $100 share paying a $5 dividend annually will have a 5% dividend yield. My general rule with dividend investing is invest in the best companies that have great products across multiple markets that are not in decline. Finding these companies can be a bit difficult though, as their dividends may not be too high relative to their cost, or they may not exist at all. The good news is that no matter what these dividends are, you can still earn passive income off your stock. Stick around until passive income stream 7 to find out how. Something to note with dividend investing though is the stock price can be a significant factor in whether or not your dividends actually make you any profit. As if the price falls, it could offset all dividend earnings you have made while you own the stock, or it could enhance it even. The best way to invest for dividends from historical statistics is to consistently invest in market index funds on a regular basis, no matter the market conditions, but historical data is no indicator of future performance. My personal strategy is to buy in regularly no matter the market conditions, but if I think the market is looking like it will crash in the near future, I will contribute less money per buy-in. As always, check the description for referral links. Now this is a very high risk type of passive income, but you could see potentially huge returns from this. And I mean truly enormous returns. Returns could be in the 20x plus range within the next 5 years, but there's also an enormous risk of your investment going to zero. Cryptocurrency staking is a complex and lengthy subject to talk about, but to keep it very simple, staking is essentially lending your crypto to somebody else so that they can either lend it to others on a bigger scale or use it to earn more income from crypto mining. Before you choose to stake any crypto, do a lot of research. I cannot stress this enough, do not be easily persuaded by super high staking returns. I'll point you towards some I believe to be worth researching first. I have videos on some of these and will make videos covering each of these in the near future. It's worth noting that the cryptocurrency industry is currently at a similar stage to where the internet industry was in the early 2000s. As in, the industry will be an underpinning aspect of the future, but it's hard to tell which assets in the industry will grow with the industry and which will become worthless. I would again suggest here staking across multiple platforms such as SwiftX, Gemini, Binance, and more to mitigate risk. I know I've been building up to this one a little bit, and it's an exciting one as you get to monetize your whole stock and REIT portfolio regardless of if they're earning dividends. Stock lending is a relatively new passive income source available to retail investors that not all stock trading platforms offer. Now, I was initially worried about if this would lose me my stocks, but the goodish news is that most trading platforms already lend your stocks out, but they're just not paying you any of the profits they earn from doing so. A few trading platforms have now started offering to share some of the profits they make from undertaking stock lending. I'll list the ones I can find here that offer this, but I would suggest checking individually as it may become widespread and individual conditions of lending may vary. Do note that you will retain your dividend income from the stock while the stock is loaned out, usually. Now, given that on some of these platforms you can opt out completely from lending your stocks, there is a risk with lending them out. Although this appears to be mitigated by the loans being over-collateralized. Essentially, the borrowers loaning your stocks have to deposit over 100% of the stock's value before receiving them. For a lot of retail investors, this is a no added risk passive income stream, as your brokers are probably already doing it, but just aren't paying you. So why not see if you can get some of the stock lending income from your broker, or potentially switch brokers to make some. Now, this income stream might sound scarier than it actually is, but it's lower risk than investing your money like we've talked about earlier in this video. So hear me out. Crypto mining can earn some decent money from a computer that would otherwise be sitting around doing nothing. Now, you don't need a high-tech setup or cheap electricity to do this. I do it with my mobile phone hotspot as internet and a $1,000 gaming laptop. You could honestly do this with any computer that has a graphics card, really. Although Nvidia's RTX 3060 and 3070 seem to be the best for it. There's also some hidden income to this people don't realize is on the table, but we'll talk about that further in income stream 10. Crypto mining is essentially providing the computing power for the blockchain you are mining on with your computer. This could be for Ethereum, Ergo, or many others. I strongly recommend looking into Ergo if you're going to pursue crypto mining. Take a look in the top right for a video about why. This might also tie into some of the passive income streams we're going to talk about shortly, as a moderately powerful computer is useful for so many passive income ideas. And while it's sitting around doing nothing, it could be mining your crypto. I'll leave a link to a video that does a pretty good job at guiding you through starting crypto mining in the description. Now, there's a bit of a line we're crossing here. These income streams require a bit more effort to maintain, but they're things that you may already be doing, and what I'll discuss here will help you monetize these things. Either way, I really think you should stick around for passive income stream 9, as that ties into pretty much everything I mentioned in this video. This is one of those ones that everyone knows they should be doing, but a lot of people ignore it because it's truly painful. Tax deductions, or whatever they may call them in your country. But this is honestly the one time of year a lot of people can make themselves hundreds of dollars an hour by putting in the effort and claiming everything they can on their tax return. I should mention, I'm not a tax advisor and your local laws are going to vary drastically even from state to state. So you'll need to contact a local tax expert in your area. However, if you are undertaking pretty much any of the passive income activities I've mentioned in this video, there's a good chance you can claim a portion of quite a few expenses and potentially reduce the amount of money you lose in tax by a fair bit. Expenses like internet, computers, software subscriptions, electricity, office equipment, professional subscriptions, and potentially even the cost of grooming if you undertake some of the passive income streams I'll mention in a minute. Everyone wants to be lazy when it comes to tax, and I get it. This is why I personally get a tax accountant to do it, but I make sure to send anything I believe to be a tax deduction with a tax ruling that I believe is applicable. Keep in mind that not all tax accountants are created equal, and that if you hear of a lot of people getting more than you back, it may be worth searching for a new accountant. This is one of the least passive and most involved income streams I'll mention, but it's also one of the most financially rewarding, so don't discount it. You could be saving yourself hundreds or thousands of dollars by doing it right. So do some research, consider getting a tax accountant, and just get amongst it once a year. Now, if you're an extremely interesting person like me, you do a lot of research on various topics for fun. This can be anything from pop culture news to history or makeup reviews. I mean, I don't look up the last one, but you get my point. Basically, if you're into a subject, no matter what it is, there's probably thousands or even millions of others out there that share the same interest and want to gain whatever insight you may have on the subject. For example, some of the biggest YouTube channels like Corridor Digital or Patrick Boyle are just channels that turn pretty mundane activities into compelling content that millions watch, whether it be VFX artists staring at computers all day or a hedge fund manager talking about macroeconomics. Not to mention, presenting this information to others can further develop your understanding of a subject tremendously. There's plenty of options to monetize your content nowadays, from social media posts to blogging. And with some of the previous income streams I mentioned before, you could be earning passive income way sooner than you think. Also on top of this, depending on the content you create, you could develop some truly unique skills that pay a significant amount. Skills like video editing, video presentation, graphic design, and social media management. These are unique skills that could open up future pathways for creators, but this is getting away from the passive income topic now. Now, the best approach with all of this is to put in as much effort as is sustainable. Don't try to set up all these passive income streams in a night. Put aside an hour a couple of nights a week, and in a few weeks you would have set yourself up to make potentially hundreds or thousands of extra dollars a year with very little extra effort. And not to overshield, but if you would like to use my referral links below, it really helps out my channel. Let me know if you have any additional passive income ideas or ideas on how to maximize the passive income you make from these streams, because I love free money. For non-passive income ideas, take a look at some of the videos popping up on screen. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Toodles.